Hi and welcome to a new video. Today we are talking about a few books that I have recently bought, including ebooks, because I do tend to buy ebooks, and then if I like the books enough I will buy the paperbacks or hardcovers as well. So we are first going to start with the ebooks because those are a little bit more than the paperbacks that I have bought recently. First one is Court of Ravens and Ruin by Eliza Rain. I'm going to check on my laptop. The first one is Court of Ravens and Ruin by Eliza Rain. It's about a defiant human woman, a dark fae prince, two enemies vow to a marriage that could destroy their world. Reyna was born a valuable slave to the Gold Court, imprisoned her whole life in a glittering palace by a sadistic greedy fae. When the palace is raided, she takes the opportunity to escape, but the raid is led by her worst nightmare, the prince of the most feared fae of all, the Shadow Court, and he wants one thing, her, the copper-haired, rune-marked woman. Reyna doesn't know why the prince has kidnapped her, but when he announces her as his betrothed, she knows that she must escape before she is internally bound to the monster behind the mask. Only when he takes the mask off, he isn't what she expects. He's little, beautiful, and exudes sin, and he needs her. Drawn into a deadly world, shrouded in secrets and desperate to keep her own hidden, Reyna must find a way out. If she doesn't, she risks more than just that. She is giving everything to her intoxicating captor. So that's basically book number one that I have added to my books that I am going to read now, because it sounds really intriguing to me, and what's worse than going from one person to another, basically. So yeah, that's one of the books that I have bought recently on my ebook, and I still have yet to read this one, but I'm really looking forward to it. The next one is The Unseelie Prince by Catherine and Kingsley. Oh, the first book was by Eliza Rain, if I didn't mention it. So the second book is The Unseelie Prince by Catherine and Kingsley, and it's about Valeroy. Valeroy is an unseelie fae. Let's have a look. The throne is Valeroy's for the taking, but first he needs a queen, so he can only take the throne if he has a bride. As the son of the Morrigan and heir to the vacant unseelie throne, Valeroy itches to shed the mantle of prince and takes his place as king. To his great regret, an ancient tradition stands in his way, demanding he takes a bride first. With all the members of the unseelie court proving to be insufferable, what is a prince to do? Still a human, of course. Abigail often wonders if the townfolk aren't right in calling her cursed. Abandoned by her husband and with no family to call her own, everything in life hangs by a thread. Never did she expect her downfall would come by taking pity on an old hermit, abducted into the dangerous world of the... I hate pronouncing made-up fantasy world names, so... Abigail is thrust into a terrifying maze that defies all logic. There she finds herself at the mercy of an unseelie prince with a strange offer. Solve his maze and he'll grant her deepest wish. If only she can live that long. So I have read this book. I will talk about this book when I talk about all the books I have read this month. But yeah, so I'm not going to go into detail more. But I've bought this book, read this book, and I cannot wait to talk to you guys about it. Up next we have Of Blood and Fire by Rain Cahill, if I pronounced it right. Born in fire, tempered in blood. Eperia is a land divided by war and mistrust. The highlights of the South squabble and fight, only kept in check by the Dragon Guard, traitors of a time long past who served the Empire of the North. In the remote villages of southern Finland, still reeling from the tragic loss of his brother, Galen Briar prepares for the proving, a test of courage and skill that not all survive. But when three strangers arrive in the village of Milltown with a secret they are willing to die for, Galen's world is ripped from under him, and he is thrust headfirst into a war that has been raging for centuries. There is no prophecy, his coming was not foretold, he bleeds like any man, and bleed he will. Everything dragons really just screams to me, so I was really excited when I saw something like that. I am curious to see whether this is what I am imagining in my head it will be. I don't think there is going to be any romance in this. This is mainly, I think, focused on the male perspective. I don't think there's going to be any... I don't think there's going to be any romance in it. We'll see. I normally only read books with a little bit of romance or spice in it. If this doesn't have any, it depends if I will like the book or not. And then last ebook, I think this, yes, the last ebook I have bought and I am currently reading is The Witch Collector by Carissa Weeks. Every harvest moon, the witch collectors ride into our valley and lead one of us to the home of the immortal Frost King to remain forever. Today is that day, collecting day, but he will not come for me. I, Raina Bloodgood, have lived in this village for 24 years, and for 24 years he has passed me by. His mistake. So Raina Bloodgood has one desire: kill the Frost King and the witch collector who stole her sister. On collecting day, she means to exact murderous revenge, but a more sinister threat sets fire to her world. Rising from the ashes in the collector, Alex Thibault, the man she vowed to slay and the only person who can help save her sister. Thrust into an age-old story of ice, fire, and ancient gods, Raina must abandon vengeance and aid the witch collector in saving the Frost King, or let their empire and her sister fall into enemy hands. But the line between good and evil blur, and Raina has more to lose than she imagined. What is she to do when the witch collector is no longer the villain who stole her sister, but the hero who's stealing her heart? I am currently reading this book, and so far I'm really liking it. Going to continue later on. And so basically, the day the witch collector is supposed to come, there is an enemy from another side coming, and they start killing her entire village. She barely escapes with the witch collector, and they sort of start moving towards the place where her sister is, and her sister is with the Frost King, which is where those raiders are going to go, so they are there to help stop them and all that. So far I'm liking it. I'm not really explaining it well, but this will be explained as well at the end of the month if I do a little books I've read this month type of video. Next up are 3 books that I have bought in store, which is really difficult in Belgium to find books that are English and really into the genre that I like. These are basically books from the exact same series, and as you can see, so this is The High Mountain Court, book 1, The 5 Crowns of Ogrid. So the first book is 19-year-old. I'm only going to talk about the first book because I do not want to spoil things for myself because I have not read this, and I hate that they put a sticker over the text. So let's see if I can get this off because God. Why do they do that? Why do they have to put stickers over things that give information? Because clearly you need to read the back if you want to know whether or not the book is good. Now this was in I think it's, oh, I don't know, it wasn't one of my favorite booktubers book haul, so, and she said it was compared to A Court of Thorns and Roses, so that's why I really wanted to try to find these books. I also searched if I could find the hardcovers, but I could not find the hardcovers, so even online, so I was like, you know what, if I cannot find hardcovers, then I'm just going to buy the paperbacks. And just for my own fortune, they had 3 the three next the sequels in the store as well. So 19-year-old Remy is the last Red Witch alive, and she is determined to stay that way. But the Northern Court King, who slaughtered her family, has other plans. He will hunt her kind until none remain. So she stays hidden, unexceptional, unremarkable, unnoticed, until the day a Fey warrior walks into her tavern and sees she's anything but. Her magic isn't strong enough to thwart Prince Hale of the Eastern Kingdom. The Northern Court has turned its gaze to his realm, and blood will soon follow. His final hope is a Red Witch, and Remy is the only one left. Remy will find herself drawn from hiding and ever close to her prince she can't possibly trust. But for the chance to save herself and her people, Remy must join Hale and his companions on a dangerous quest to reclaim the lost relics, and just maybe her destiny. This really looks promising, and that's why I also bought the second book, which is The Witch's Blade, and the third one, which is The Rogue Crown. Now, this is a book of 5. Well, this is a series of 5, but they only had parts 1, 2, and 3, which is enough to start. I mean, if I read this all, I will be more than happy. I still have more than enough books that I actually have here, which is also The Priory of the Orange Tree, which is a book of 800 pages. I also have Kingdom of Souls that I still need to read. I also have The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea I still have to read. I'm currently also trying to read the second book of Crescent City. Don't remember the name at the moment because my mind is... so yeah, those are basically the books that I have bought this month. I'm not going to buy any more books this month because it's more than enough. And so, yeah. I will talk to you guys next. You will see a vlog also, so talk to you guys later.